Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries. Today, hope you're doing well. Fair to middling here, which is good for me. I preview tonight as Studio One. Studio One, you could call it disco, nightclub, hotspot, and it's legendary, and it actually goes much further back than Studio One itself. I guess I'll give you the context of that. It was, God knows what, it was some warehouse or whatever in the beginning. In the late 60s, it became a discotheque of the same size, which was gigantic, called the Factory. And of course, it was a copycat of Warhol's Factory in New York City, but turned into a celebrity hotspot. But in the late 60s, we're not talking like Studio 54-ish kind of hotspot. This was more like chic hotspot discotheque. And of course, my mom went there. Of course, Liz has to be there. So in 1974, again, you gotta, you don't have to do anything, but if you could put it into cultural context, 1974, we're still like barely into the gay liberation movement. There's like some stuff that's still like illegal. And so for Studio One to open up at that size, at that expense, after it having been the Factory, then a huge warehouse, textile design center called Phyllis Morris briefly, and then that's how far back I go. And then it became Studio One. And it was Studio One well into the late 90s, I want to say. So I first got my first glimpse of Studio One proper, the discotheque. Now, in the back lot, which is what it was called, there was a cabaret. Now, I've done a show about this cabaret was here, there was restrooms here, and then the massive discotheque area here. So anyone that went to backlot knew of and practically had to walk next to the dance floor of Studio One Gay Disco nightclub, because they did have a little stage and they would do like, a couple of relatively, well-known bands. It was a little nook of a stage. They also had like Ballet Trocadero and something like that, drag ballet, and all kinds of, Divine was there at one point years ago. So I have a history with backlot. Long story short, I did take a peek from the restroom though to see the disco way back when, mid-70s. So now it's Studio One, and now we're looking at 87, or yeah, I didn't go to gay discos until I went to a lot of other places. We know that I shouldn't have been, but a gay club, bar, whatever, I didn't go to till I turned 21, and when my first one, they didn't card me. So I have this odd history, aside from its own history that is legendary, that help give the gay community a place to hide out, free of judgment and full of acceptance. Now we're talking a place that is massive in size. There's a whole big, I'm not going to make these shows travel logs. I really try and stay away from that nowadays. I promise. Front area was more of a social area and more well lit. Center area was the massive dance floor with sort of little dark bleacher benches on one side, little stagette on that side. Over here is a huge bar up a bit, and then down on this side is the more social area that's very well lit. There's 3 bars.